Hey everyone, welcome back to season 2 of You Were Meant for More. I am your host, Francine Ayala, and I am so excited as far as what's coming for 2025. I've recently launched an 8-week program called Ignite Your Confidence, and we are going to focus on the fundamentals of faith, fitness, and finance, because those are the 3 foundations that you need to really break through in this new year. So are you ready to step out into your power and purpose and walk boldly and confidently into your next season? Go ahead and contact me at francineayala.com/men for more. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of You Were Meant for More. I am your host, Francine Ayala, and my apologies for this crazy voice of mine. If you saw last week, I was getting sick and I am still dealing with it, so bear with me. I brought another wonderful guest, my dear friend, Rosia Para Arvanitis. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Arvanitis. Yeah.
Arvanitis. I love it. So thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. I was like, Rosia, I'm dying. And so she was, just, I got you, girl. Yes, let's do it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, get your tribe of women that want to support and uplift you. And she is just one of those people that I surround myself with. Thank you, Rocio, for being here. We are going to jump in. This is so funny. Just remember, everyone, last week's episode was very casual and relaxed with Hannah, and we're going to do the same thing today. So join in on the conversation, ask questions. I'm going to be sipping on my tea that I got at the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina. If you've ever heard of it, it's a beautiful house over there. And we're going to be having a conversation. But what's fun about this is time management for busy entrepreneurs. And how amazing is this that I get to do it with the one woman that literally helped me get my together.
You're so funny.
And so we're going to dive into that conversation today. And I'm going to have her share a bit more about her own journey. And we're going to just chat about it. And I want to hear from you all who are joining us live, how you've experienced time management, what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you, what you may be struggling with. And we're going to do this together. So thank you for being here. Welcome. Drop us a hey, hi, hello. Let us know you're joining us live. If you're catching the replay, let us know as well. But definitely engage with us. We're here for it. And I'm going to be sipping on my tea in the meantime. We'll go from there. So, all right, Rocio, here we go. You ready, girl? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, thank you for having me, Francine.
You what?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for thinking of me.
Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you. It's been crazy because she's like, where you been, girl? And I'm like, struggling. And you know what was cute today? I was texting her and she goes, tea. She's like, make sure you're drinking hot tea. And I'm like, I hate tea. Tea like literally dries out my throat. And she goes, yeah, but it'll help you with the phlegm. And I'm like, oh, is that why I've been struggling for like the past 3 days? It's been awful.
And that stuff will stay in your throat for weeks. So get it all out.
I know. So now guess what I'm having? I'm having tea with lemon and honey. So yes. But anyways, our topic, yes. I mean, I it's funny because, so really quick, just so that you can all be brought up to speed. This year, Rocio invited me to participate in a women's accountability group. Now, give me 1 second. Because for some reason, Facebook tends to put us on a, like, only me. So I got to open it up so that it's open and unprivate in my Facebook. So hopefully everybody in Facebook who's watching live can now see it. Okay. There, it's live. But she invited me to this accountability group for, high-level professional women to really be there to support one another. And she goes, I was thinking about you and I wanted to invite you. And I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I would love that. Because, we talk about needing community, right? And so I want you to share how that all came about for you.
Yeah.
And share a little bit about how you struggled as well. So take it away while I sip on my tea.
Okay, go for it. So, yeah, I always share, with the women in the accountability group, and I tell them, like, I need you as much as you need me,
Mhm.
because that's why I created the space. And I'll just tell you, straight, there were some changes in my life, in my health, in just even relocating, right? I got married, I moved away, not too far, but just away from like my people, my roots, my community. And yeah, and so I was, my husband's a part of another men's accountability, and they're super active. They're very successful. And I thought, like, I need something like that. And I started thinking, like, where can I find, people that would want to join, or not even join, just where can I join? And
Right.
that's when he said, well, why don't you create the space? And I go, you're right. We should be creating spaces like this. If it doesn't exist, they always say, right, create it. And so that's kind of where the idea came about. And I was like, okay, who am I gonna like attract? Like, I don't want it to be a bunch of friends. Like, yes, community, yes, professionals, high level, like high performing entrepreneurs. That would be awesome. But I didn't want it just to be like my usual circle. And so I put it on Instagram. I had a couple people reach out. I created like an application on Google, and I sent it out, and I wanted to get a feel for, and kind of filter people, and get a feel for what they would bring to the table, because this is a two-way street here, you know. And so engagement is important, but commitment is also very important. And it's not commitment to me, it's committing to you,
Hmm.
your daily, habits, life, routine, whatever that looks like. And so that's kind of how I started. Yeah, We Rise Collective is the name of our group.
Yes. I love it. And so you brought up a really good point because we talked about this at Natalie talked about it at the Women Rising engagement that you and I both attended about a week or two ago. And she was looking for the same thing. She wanted to be part of this women rising engagement where a woman, a professional woman, a leader who was talking about faith and living Christ-like, and she couldn't find it anywhere, and so she created it, and that's what it's all about, right? It's really connecting to one another and creating that community so that we can all flourish together.
And it's so
And
important that we do stay connected. Um, Being a solopreneur for some time now, like, it's hard to stay on track. It's hard to feel, motivated, to stay consistent and do all the things that we're supposed to, grow our businesses and propel us forward. So it's important to me. I'll tell you, uh, I'm a self development junkie. I'm all about, life is now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, right? So dwelling on that is not going to serve us today. Um, and I actually want to share, I'm going to start reading this book by John C. Maxwell. It's called Today Matters.
mm,
And I also sit in a mastermind on Wednesdays, and we talked about that. The topic today was um, how we grow and develop in our environment, how important our environment is, right?
it
And so,
really is. It really is. And the thing is, like, what I've also learned, even vice versa. Well, I know you said environment just as a whole, but it's like when you say our environment, I'm thinking, yeah, you got to be around like
people,
people, women, men that are just like they're thinking like you, they're talking like you, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to grow. And then vice versa, you can't be around negative people who are constantly, saying bad things, and they're having a bad day and everything's, going spiraling out of control. And it's just like, because first things first, it's like you have to set the tone of
yeah.
where you want your day to go. And that's setting it here, right? In the mindset space. And I love that you said you're a personal development junkie. I'm like, so am I. I love
Yeah,
that.
all things growth, all things better, positive. Again, it's just to stay in the context, it takes a lot of intentional time. And
It does.
that's what our mornings look like. So I know we talked about accountability group and
Yes.
what is an accountability group, right?
Yes.
People are like, what? Like, what is it?
So
And
I gotta share really quick, girl, so that you can share all about the accountability group.
yeah, go for it.
So when Rocio told me about the group, I was like, yes, I was all about accountability. Like we all need it. I don't care who you are, we all need it in some capacity. And so I was like, I filled out her form. I thought her form was fabulous. I was like, gee, she's being intentional about who she wants in this group. And I was like, honestly, girl, I felt so honored. I did. When I filled out that form, I was like, I feel honored to be part of this. So thank you, like for thinking of me. And then
Of course.
thank you for approving me. So it wasn't just
Thank
about
you
me
for
filling
letting
it
me
out.
in. Yeah.
She had
Yeah.
to approve me first, people. So she's like, all right, you'll do. Just
Yep.
but what happened was, and I want to share, what happened to me in the group because she's going to share about the group itself,
Sure.
is you talked about slow mornings. And so if you guys don't understand slow mornings, she's going to share with you. I didn't know what I knew what that meant, but I didn't know what that meant. And we're going to dive she's going to dive into it. We're going to dive into it together because the thing is somebody could tell you to do something. And it's not until you fully embrace it subconsciously that you will reap the benefits of it. Because the thing is like, oh, okay, go walk on the treadmill. And you're like, okay, I'm just walking on the treadmill. You go walk on the treadmill again. All right, I'm walking on the treadmill again. But the thing is, people will always revert back to our old habits. Oh, I didn't do the treadmill today. I got busy. So it's a program. It's a program that's constantly needs to be rewired. That's why consistency is key. And so I had to share because again,
Yeah.
I wanted to preface it by saying what you started it in January. When did I finally get on the 5 a.m. club? It wasn't until March.
Couple weeks ago, maybe
Yeah,
maybe
a
a
week
week
ago.
ago. Yeah.
A week ago. So we're like it's almost so it was like right before March hit. So think about it. January 1st to March 1st. 2 months. So go ahead. Share all things.
Yeah. So I'll share a little bit about the group and then I'll share a little bit about my morning and how and why it's a miracle morning.
Yeah.
Right? Because there is something called a miracle morning. It is an app, it is a book, it is like a system. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I just stumbled upon it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I had no idea that
Your
correlates.
phone's listening. The universe is listening.
I literally stumbled upon it the other day and I've been getting so many nuggets from him that I'm just like, "Oh, this sounds great." It almost sounds like my 5 a.m.,
Yeah. Yep.
slow
Like my
slow morning.
routine. Yeah. No, totally.
Go
And
ahead. I'm
so
so sorry.
no. So in our group, we have daily check-ins, right? We have these, everybody has a morning routine and they all look different.
Mm,
That's what's awesome about it,
mhm.
right? You get to learn about what other people are doing to stay sane, to, fill their cup and all the things, right? That sounds so cliche, like, oh, fill your cup. And, but it's so real, you guys. Like, I really believe that the more intentional we are in the morning, the better we show up for the world, the better your mood. You have your coffee, you have your water, you have your exercise. So, for me, it started when I became an entrepreneur about 6 years ago. I started like learning about all these little hacks. Like, how can I get better? How can I manage my time? How can I do all the things I want to do and stay on track, consistent, and all these things, all these words that they were getting thrown at me like, what? Like, what does that even mean? Kind of like you, like, what does it mean truly?
Right.
And it just means that you have that time for yourself, right? You have some clarity, you have some alone time, some still time, some journaling, some reading. I love to read. I'm always reading like 2, 3 books at a time. And this year I committed to reading the Bible. So that's another read. And you don't have to do it all. I'm not saying that my routine is the best, but it works for me. And I didn't, it wasn't always like this for me. I started with baby steps, right? Waking up earlier, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And then I was working out at a private gym for years, and I was waking up at 4:30 to show up at 5:15 my workout started, and it was a commitment. It was huge. I was never a morning person, and I had to get that out of my head. Like, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, but I am committed, right? So forget about what I'm not. I am worthy of better health. I'm worthy of, you know, meeting up with this trainer that's going to help me get in better shape and just like slowly evolving. And that's kind of how I saw this whole thing. Um, and the reason why hi, the
We got Natalie, my ladies. Hey, girl. Hey. Sorry, had to show her giving us love.
she's so
Go ahead.
cute. Yeah, no, but and journaling is like such a big part of my morning because I just love to just even scribble. And I'm a big John C. Maxwell fan. And so
So
he
good.
started writing, right, like many, many years ago. And he said, even when I didn't have anything to say or anything, I thought I didn't. But
Yeah.
then one thought led to another. And then he started writing books. I mean, he's got like over 50 books, I'm sure.
Mm.
But it's just an outlet too.
Mhm.
And I think about like, who's going to read this? This morning in my mastermind, I shared that I was terrified of journals, you guys. I was so terrified because my brothers, I grew up with 4 brothers, and they read my journal to my parents. You know how you used to buy a journal? You used to get it. It was like the cutest thing, like the Hello Kitty ones, all the cute.
Yes, I had them, girl, with the little locks and the
Yes.
key. I
And
had
they
them.
they
I wrote
broke
about my
the log.
boyfriends. Oh,
Actually, they didn't break it. It was just such a cheap little log. You just
yeah,
pulled it and it opened.
yeah.
And they
And
read
they
my,
read it.
yeah, it was terrifying. Are you kidding me?
I think
Like
my
all my
brother read it. I think
secrets were,
my brother and his friends read it. I don't remember, but yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
still have it. It's somewhere in storage.
Oh my
But
God.
what happened?
So they would just bully me and talk about the journal. Like, oh, what you journal this? Oh my God, I know who you're talking to on the phone. I would have somebody's sister ask for me. And then I would talk
Oh,
to, this is like, I
that's why
don't
you're
even know.
terrified of
I must have been
journaling.
like 10, 12,
Oh, got
maybe.
it. Makes sense.
But anyways, once I started journaling, it was over. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it helped you like come out of your shell and to just like really start being intentional about
Yep.
your mornings and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Slow mornings is something that, we talk about that Rocio, talks about. And I didn't like I didn't grasp it until I grasped it. And I'm like Rocio said, I'm constantly personal developing. I'm in master classes, I'm in trainings, I have coaching, and I'm always showing up in some capacity to learn, right? And as she does as well. And I was sharing with her and the team, if I'm not mistaken, the other day when we were on our meeting, right? We were on our meeting, and one of the coaching calls I was part of was talking about our priorities and how we needed to focus on our priorities. And it wasn't until I saw what my real priorities were versus what my actual priorities should be that I was like, oh, I need to be part of the 5 a.m. club, don't I? And the thing is, so that you all are brought up to context, and Rocio kind of prefaced it earlier, is she talked about, I'm not a morning person. And Hannah mentioned it last week. She's like, I'm not a morning person. I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. So, whatever you tell yourself is your reality. And guess what? I wasn't a morning person either. I was not. I remember thinking like 5 a.m. Can we do like a 6 a.m. club, 7 a.m., 8 a.m.? You know, I remember when I used to go work out and I would always register for the 8 a.m. class or the 9 a.m. class when I was at a private gym. And it was just that I kept putting things aside. I wasn't getting things done and I was
Yeah.
always rushing. And so to be really intentional about the slow morning is when I made the decision. And it's so funny because in Think and Grow Rich, I'll never forget, it kept saying, when you make a decision. And I was like, what does that mean? And I read that book like 5 years ago. Okay. That's why we talk about constant personal development. But I was like, what do you mean when you make a decision? Like, I've made a decision. I've made a decision. Like, I've said I'm going to do it. When you make a decision, it's pretty much an intentional one.
Yeah.
And say you're going to be committed to it. And there's no doubt within your face, within your neurology, within your mind that it's going to happen. I'm
But
going
when you share it, it's totally different. When you actually tell somebody you're going to do
to.
it, it feels different. I have
It,
somebody, one of my friends, he's in my mastermind group. He's been struggling with his weight for a long time. He's on and off, on and off, on and off, trying different things, all the hacks, and he doesn't stick to anything. And he said, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to tell anyone. Well, today on his social, so today's his 20-year wedding anniversary, and yeah, and so he has an old video, and then he recorded something today like, hi guys, today I have a promotion, whatever, for my 20th anniversary. If you're married, you get free credit repair or something like that. And I'm going back and forth between the two stories, and I could see the weight just come, and I'm like, he
yes.
hasn't said anything. He hasn't announced it, but he was like, it's so like discouraging when I just don't do things that I say I'm going to do. And I go, well, that's why you declare and you tell people so that they hold you accountable. And we're scared of accountability. Some of us feel like we don't like to be called out a lot of times.
Yeah. And the
Right.
thing is, like, it honestly reverts back to the whole fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to set themselves up. I don't want to fail. I don't want to I don't want to let you down. I don't want to let myself down. But
Yeah.
it's really being part of an accountability, because the thing is, sorry, even community is when you're around people who are doing it, like the group that you created, Rocio, all of you inspire me. You guys all inspire me to keep going, to like show up and put in my I forgot the intention, I
Yeah.
was like prayer, Bible reading, my personal development reading, and then, I'm off to the gym. And then you're like, what are your intentions for today? Oh, that's right, my intentions. So, we have to be accountable to like, what is it that we're working on? What is our focus?
What is your focus? What do you value?
Yes.
You're always going to prioritize what you value the most.
Yeah.
So if you
That's
don't
true.
value your fitness, your wellness, your health, and all those things, it's going to be, secondary, or
Mhm.
maybe like a once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
You don't think
And
about it because you don't value it.
and there's so many people that will talk about like, you know, oh, I'm so tired, or I can't do this. I can't because I'm tired, or I don't have time. And it's like, those are all excuses, because we want to be able to come up with something that is relevant to that situation that we're in right there. But the minute you make that choice and you decide that you want to be a healthier you, for you, your family, everyone, that you want to support, it's different. It's not necessarily like about you anymore. It's about showing up as the best. Well, it is about you, but showing up the best version as yourself so that you can support so many other people.
Yeah,
And
which
like,
we do as women naturally, right? We
yes,
love to
oh my
tend to
goodness.
others, and we love taking care of others, and then we forget to look.
We do. Yes. And that's why it's so
Yeah.
important that we take care of our health.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's one thing, I struggled with, up and down. I went up and down and up and down. And now it's like, okay, I already know what I need to do. I've done it before. Like, be intentional. So that's what I'm doing. Being intentional about every little thing that I do, whether that's working out, food I eat, all the things. It all comes together, and then you can actually see yourselves falling into like old habits and stuff and that aren't serving you well.
Yeah.
So as far as the group goes, like what is it that you look forward to when people are sharing like their stories and things like that? Like what inspires you to like continue it? Because you started it, I want to say about a year ago, right?
Yeah. About a
Okay.
year ago, last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what have you seen, or what have you seen like evolve from it, that you're just like, oh, this is like really something that is taking off?
Yeah. Even, people that some of the ladies that aren't in the group, because they're just in a different season or just kind of needed some time to take care of other things and wanted to focus on whatever, right? They still message me. They still like, I'm back, like because
Yeah.
of you, I started this because
Oh,
so like yeah, I always get I always have like a little wait list, believe it or not, because I don't want the group to get too big
too big. Yeah. Then
and
everybody just kind of like gets invisible and you're like, where is everyone? And so,
yeah.
yeah.
And so then you lose engagement
Yeah.
and it's kind of defeats the purpose, right? Because you're just all over. It's overwhelming
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
I've learned. A lot of us are in multiple groups. A lot of us are trying to keep up with a lot of things. And I don't have kids yet, but I mean, some of the women that are in here, I'm just like, wow, like how do you do it?
Oh yeah, I see that. I see like, their hustle in the morning and so forth with the kids, and I can't even imagine. I'm just like, "Oh man, my son's already out of the house and, he's doing his own thing and it's all about me and, making the time for me and the Lord and really diving into personal development, focusing on my health and everything that I'm building for this business." And so
Well, you
yeah, I
get to
mean, I
support
get it.
through We Love, right? Through your organization, you get to support other women. And
Right.
if you're not solid, if you're not good, like what do you think you're going to put out there?
Mhm.
That's how I see it. And, most of us are in business for ourselves. And I think about that too. Like, are we being true to ourselves? And how
Mhm.
do we show up for these clients?
Yeah. And it's so true because like I had a mentor tell me that basically now I love Wheela, everything that, has transpired from Wheela. I had to put it on hold because of, because we have the nonprofit, we have, the for profit, and I had to put it all on hold because I was out there trying to support so many women and I wasn't supporting myself. And so I don't know if you know this, but like I've shared it multiple times, but like I was hosting events for to support women, to help them feel good, to bring them joy. And my business manager was like, "What's your ROI?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?
What?
What? What
You
is that?
mean this isn't it? Just
You
bringing
mean this isn't it? This is like it's a feel good thing." They're like, "What are you making on it?" And I'm like, nothing." So I didn't know this. The thing is, like, I used to host events with the Chamber of Commerce. And so I knew how to host events and I wanted to be able to bring this opportunity to support women. And so, although we still do that, every now and then we have an event, I really needed to focus on, okay, let me grow this so that we can have a massive impact on these women all over the world. And that's why I kicked off the show. That's why I was like, okay, I needed to be more intentional. And so yeah, it's just everything is all coming full circle for what God's plan is in my life.
thank God for Zooms, lives, YouTube, Facebook,
I know.
Instagram, like all of it, right? Because now we're able to connect with more people.
Yes. And
And
even like honestly during COVID, I connected with such a larger audience of women that like women were joining from all over the world. And that's when the name changed from Women Empowering Women Los Angeles to Women Empowering Women Living Authentically. And so, I mean, I was able to really offer that, that community, that unity for women to join us wherever they were coming from. Anyways, I don't want to get off topic because we could
time
go there, but
management, time management.
I know time management. So one of the things is like creating the systems in place to help support your mornings. So, when we talk about the whole breakdown of the accountability, Rocio, do you want to share what it is that we do every morning?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
go ahead.
Yeah, so we have check-in routine, right? Every day we check in before 9 and we kind of share what we're doing if we completed our miracle morning. And for some of us, that could mean just a cup of water with lemon. Um, for some of us are a little more intense, and we've been building on this routine. And so for me, I'll share mine. You know, my miracle morning is waking up by 6:30. On a good day, I wake up earlier, but I try to 6:30 and I wake up. I have some silent, some alone time. And that just means like just me and God. I say a prayer, I look out the window, give myself a good stretch, like I just, feel good and I go about my day. I get up, I journal. I read most of the time. I read something. If I'm at the gym, I'm on Audible, but I usually do intentionally read at least for a good like 10, 15 minutes at least. If it's a good book or if I'm reading something very interesting, then I could just stay here for an hour. But I have a corner in my bedroom with a desk, and it's kind of like my safe space. And I have a gym here. I'm lucky enough to have a gym just right downstairs from my apartment. And
That's cool.
I, yeah, so that's going to change. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm still going to do, before I used to drive 20 miles to a gym. This is at 5 in the morning to get there at 5. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I'm so spoiled right now because I just go downstairs and, I get my workout in and it's great. But now I get to wake up maybe a little earlier. It does change though. Like my mood is different. Like I feel, you guys, when I do my morning routine, like I feel unstoppable. When I
Mm,
check all the things off, I'm like, I'm done. Everything else is a plus,
mm-hmm.
right? Because I got to spend some alone time. I got to journal. I got to do some reading and just get some clarity. And but in the group, we will share our intention for the day. Right today, this is like one thing that I do need to do. Complete. Call it a
Yeah.
task. Call it whatever. Maybe you have to make some phone calls, some follow ups, but just again, putting it out there, you just go back and remember, like I said, I was going to do this, I need to do this. And then we check back in throughout the day if you want to share. Sometimes, it takes me a while to get out of bed, but when I finally do, I'll send a picture and I'm like, I did all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think we all, and this is so good. So sorry, I have to keep clearing my throat. I think in general, and this is kind of what I want to share. It's like we all experience these mornings differently. We experience how we show up differently. So, like one of the things that you said, you're like, I check off. I absolutely, sorry, I absolutely love checking off things. Like, you get me a little journal with a to do list, and I love crossing it out. I love crossing it out.
yeah,
I do that with my finances too. It's crazy. It makes me so happy. So
yeah,
you have to get into a system, a rhythm that ignites your inner child or your inner, joy, and bring that out. Because the thing is, like, I think as an entrepreneur, Rocio, and you may attest to this as well, is you got to find your rhythm. You got to find that what really lights you
what
up.
fuels you? Yeah,
Yes. And it's like, because as an entrepreneur, we go through so much personal development. We're listening to the experts, we're receiving all of this information so that we can then go implement it. And then when we go implement it, we're just like, how come they did it with so much ease? Because it's not registering. And
it's
this is where it's like,
it's
yeah,
not
go ahead.
automatic. None of it is automatic.
Yeah. It's a trial and error type thing. Like, what is going to work for you? And I know it's the funniest thing. Okay. You guys are going to laugh at me, but I feel like I need to share this with you. It's in my
Share.
purse. I didn't expect to share it, so it's in my purse. But let me just give you an idea. I'm like, what's on here? Okay, so like, look at this piece of paper. See how I have notes? I love writing notes. I love writing notes. So, for example, this piece of paper right here has, pretend it has all of my bills due. Do, 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 do. And then I get to cross it off every week. I pay that bill. That brings me so much joy
Yeah.
because it's come, well, my backstory is I struggled with finances. I had money blocks for days. And so give yourself grace no matter where you're at in life. And it's like, what worked for me may not work for Rocio. Rocio may be, how do you do your finances? Are you on QuickBooks and do, 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 do? Yep.
Yep.
So like, that's great. And I'll give somebody else that opportunity to do that. But honestly, to write it out for me and to check it off every week, I'm like, uh, uh, because I've never been in that space to say, like, oh my goodness, I'm getting all of this done. I'm not that I've never been, but I mean, it took me a long time to get there because I would just let bills go and go and go, meaning like they would just hit my account and I wouldn't see them, is what I'm trying to say. But it's like to actually see that and bless it and like know that it's returning automatically, like it's a blessing. So that's how you get to bless your finances, by the way. I learned that from a money coach. Because whatever you're letting go and you're paying, you're going to be receiving it in return. So bless the money that is going out
Okay.
that you're paying. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and know that it's going to come back,
I have to share
tenfold.
one of my favorite quotes, and I heard this a long time ago. I mean, I don't know, years ago, is save your money
Mhm.
because tomorrow it will save you.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the words is affirmations is I'm a money magnet. How much do you want in your bank account every day? Say it every single day.
Let's talk about our bank account actually, because we talked about it this week, and
Yeah.
said if you're not doing all the things right, we're talking about your checklist, especially if you work
Yes.
for yourself, super important, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
in 30, 60, 90 days, if your
Mhm.
bank account isn't reflecting what you were doing, so look at your bank account in 30 days and it'll tell you exactly what you were doing right today.
Mhm.
And so just a way to measure like productivity and kind of see where you are and how you're doing. And yeah, that's why building those habits, and even our friend Natalie calls it a power hour, but that's an hour that she's prospecting, she's reaching out, she's following up, she's doing all the things that are going to bring her income.
Yes.
Power hours are so important if you're in sales, which most of
Yes.
us are, right?
And
We're
actually, that was gonna be one of the things we're gonna talk about is power hours and really, focusing on that. We were talking about being intentional, but really focusing on being intentional about what you're going to do. I remember it was so hard to pick up a phone. If you're in sales and you got to pick up a phone, I was just like, I don't know what to tell them. Like I was all embarrassed, and
yeah.
before you know it, it's like the thing is like I've even done a training about how to share versus sell. So you're sharing what it is that you have to offer versus selling people. And I think that's kind of where the differentiation is.
I think
Because
we all hate to sell.
oh yeah, because I don't know about you, but I always think about like sleazy car salesmen that left like a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like the car salesman approach and everything. Like I remember, like, have you ever been sold a timeshare? Have you ever done one of those
Um,
timeshares
so my
presentations?
my husband has one, but
Okay,
we've sat through them. Yes.
okay.
Luckily, we were getting married, and that was our excuse. Like, look, we love the
Yes,
idea,
I
and we
know.
want to become
Yes.
members.
Yeah.
However, my husband said something like, "I'm trying to marry her, so it's not going to work today." Yeah, but it
Well,
was a great.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you guys have one. That's amazing. But like for me, I've done like there was one time I was a single mom and I took all the free seminars because you can take free seminars. And they would give you all this free stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I remember the guy was just like so like talking to me and he's all into like my conversation. What do you do? And oh, that's great.
Very
And I was
interested.
like, yeah, here, this is me, this is what I do. Here's my business card. And then when he tried to sell me, and I was like, I can't, like it's just. I don't have the finances right now. He literally went like this with my business card. Let me just see. He went like this. Let me see. He was like, and just threw it and gave me a look and just walked away. And I was like, wow,
What?
you mean he doesn't want to be my friend?
Wow,
Just kidding.
that's crazy.
But it was just like, just that sleazy type sales
Yeah.
person.
I actually that happened to me, door knocking. I mean, I probably
Really?
door knocked like 5 times in my entire life. And one of the times, yeah, straight up, he was like, I went up to him, older gentleman, and he was talking about like Vegas. Let's go to Vegas. What is this? Like kind of just
Yeah.
laughing, like, huh? And he just opened his trash can and he was like, "Have a nice day." I was like, "No, he didn't." I was like, I don't know how, like I wanted to laugh, but I was like, should I laugh or cry or like run out of here? It was pretty funny. But
I mean, we've
it
all
happened.
had like that experience, right? And it's just like
I
the
would
thing is,
never like let's just, actually today I went to an event last week and I got a bunch of flyers and stuff and I
uh-huh.
was going through them and I got like two of the same one. Anyways, I ended up throwing them all away. They did give out some really cute stuff though, and I kept that. And I was like, oh, this is great marketing. It's like an envelope, like an opener, mail
Mhm.
opener.
If you keep something that's like useful where people are using it at their house,
Yeah,
that's great marketing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
So,
gave a little candle. I was like, "Oh, this is cute."
yeah.
It's cute, but I was telling my girlfriend who makes candles,
Yeah.
Claudia from Casablanca.
Oh, I love Claudia. Yes.
Yeah, and so I told her, I said, "Hey," I said, "look at this. This is such a great idea." And I kind of told her about it, and she goes, "Yeah, the problem with small candles is that it's really hard to smell. Like your room will never smell. It's got to be a really small space.
Yeah.
If you put it in a bedroom, like it's just too small. Like it's not
Yeah.
a candle." I was like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." But yeah, okay, sounds like a waste of money. Never mind.
Oh, that's too funny. All right. We're going to jump into creating systems that work for you. Here we go. Let me go ahead and share this really quick. I think it's so important that you all know. Here we go. All right. Let's go through the delete, delegate, or do.
Mhm.
What type of processes do you need to go through? Like, this is when you do your morning routine or you're going through being intentional about your day. Sometimes people like to plan out their week the Sunday before that week starts. But if you're that morning person like I am, where I'll sit down and look at my morning and see what that looks like for the day, you got to really be intentional about, are you going to delete? Are you going to delegate it for that like personal assistant, or are you going to actually do? You got to be really mindful of those areas, because the thing is, like, as an entrepreneur, they can suck up your time. And so many times, I mean, I'm sure you face it, Rocio, there's energy suckers, right? Things that we don't need to deal with, we can delegate it to someone else. But what happens, I think, and this with other entrepreneurs, is we tend to take control of everything, right? We want to be the controller.
Yeah, we don't think anyone does things as good as we do.
We don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to be really intentional about, am I going to delete this? Is this moving my business forward? Or does it just need to be deleted?
Yeah.
I deleted something today that I had just sitting there and I was like, you know what? Nope, done. Do I need to delegate it to a personal assistant? And you have no idea, you guys, like personal assistants are virtual assistants are very
Virtual.
affordable. Very affordable. And if you need assistance, reach out to me. And then do you need to put a power hour aside for you to focus
Complete
on?
it. To complete it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things I love to do recently is
Mhm.
D&D. Do not disturb.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, "Oh, I've heard that."
Do not disturb. I know I told someone this over the weekend and they're like, "What's D&D?" And D? And then when I
Yes,
told him, he goes, "Oh yeah, I use it all the time." I go, "That's D&D." But
it is so D&D.
even at night, so I set up, my parents, my husband, my siblings as I don't know if it's emergency contacts or favorites.
Uh-huh.
Your phone will ring if one of your favorites like dings you or, texts.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah. So setting that up was very helpful because I'm able to turn off. I was always paranoid, like, oh my God, what if somebody needs to get a hold of me? And so somebody told me about that, I love it because I'm
Yeah,
able to put my phone on D&D before I go to bed, or even before because I do some reading at night, and I'm on D&D till my alarm goes off. It's
I
great.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I did recently as well. And then I actually silenced Instagram, my notifications. I silenced all notifications from Instagram. Facebook somehow got silenced as well. I don't even know when it happened, but once I silenced Instagram, it was like no more distractions. And yeah, I'll put myself into very intentional focus hours, and sometimes I get so much work done that I forget to like, okay, you got to stand up. And
How
one of
about
the
you forget you have it on D&D?
oh
You're
yeah,
on D&D and you don't even know it.
I'll just like because I quickly like what is it? I pull it for the iPhones. I pull it down and I just
Mhm,
hit focus.
mhm.
So the DND obviously, and I turn that on, and then I know when it's on because it's just like I'll always have like a text, and I'm like, oh, I didn't hear that, and then oh, it's because I have it on DND. So yeah, that's just the way I work. I know. Sorry, everybody works differently, but
Here's another one, another good one that works for me.
what? Which one?
Say no.
You what?
Say no.
Oh yes, go
Always
ahead.
be
Elaborate
a
on that.
person. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll support you. Yes, I'll go. I'll do. I'm like, this is not productive.
No.
So just being selective with events, being selective with like all these mixers that get thrown at us, right? Oh, you're in business? Boom, go to this event, go to that, learn about this, learn about that. Everyone wants to recruit you, sell you life insurance or whatever, right? Like, I mean, there's so
No.
many things. We could probably go to 5 events in LA. You can easily sign up for 5 events a day.
I think last year I went to 3 events, 3 or 4 events out of the whole year, and I've had multiple people reach out to me for lunch, and they know who they are, and I love you all, but I really have to be selective, and they know that. The thing is they know that. I have to be mindful of my time because there's so much that I'm working on, so much that I'm building,
Yeah.
and, it's all coming together. I finally got our content manager to put everything out there for the show, and there's so many moving parts, and now again everything is coming together, intentional mornings, following through with the delegation. If it's not needed by me, I can delegate it, and then doing my follow-ups, talking to people, having conversations, and just being present. And it's no longer chaotic. Like I'm not all over the place like I was. Like I don't I know I shared this with you, but like I seriously like do you remember my messages before? I was just like, "Hey guys, got to go. I'm in. I'm here." And then I'm like, "See you later. I'm out." Like I felt like my mornings were just like that. At
Yeah.
least that's the tone. But
Hmm.
now I'm just like, you know, "Hey everyone, pray, reading, gym. My intention is this. Hope you all have a blessed day." Like they're just so much more
How does
calm.
that make you feel too? Not just calm, but you're like, all right. I
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it's weird because it's like I haven't felt like this in the 6 years like I've been an entrepreneur. And it's crazy because it's like it's almost like you feel any moment now it's something's gonna happen. And I'm like, but no, I'm not expecting any moment, but it's like you almost feel like, okay, this is another calm day.
Yeah.
This is another like not so chaotic day. Anyways, okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this is what we talk about as far as slow mornings in this accountability group. It may look different to all of you, but I want to share what it looks like for me, and it might be similar for Rocio. Number one thing we do when we get up is we pray. That is just a given. It is our time to just be alone and quiet, and quiet time, like Rocio mentioned, is to pray and to really be with him, to hear him, to know what it is that he has for you. And sometimes I'll completely honest, this doesn't happen till like I've gone downstairs, brushed my teeth, and come back up to open my Bible. Sometimes it happens the minute I wake up and I just like close my eyes and I thank God for another day. Okay. That's number one. Number two, Bible reading. Like Rocio said, I am also in that group with her where I decided to read the Bible for the year, you know,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. And it's something I've never done. And I'm excited to be part of it with all these ladies. They're phenomenal, you know, because we all have perspectives on where we're sharing. And I know wholeheartedly that God speaks to us during these times that we're with Him. So that's what I do. Number three is a personal development book. She's reading John Maxwell, which I highly recommend. I absolutely love John Maxwell, everything he puts out. He put out something today that I wanted to share. Hopefully, I have time to bring it up, but
Ooh,
it's so
I
powerful.
think I even
You probably saw it, huh?
I think I screenshotted.
Oh God, if you said that saw the one that I'm thinking, I'm like so excited that you and I both saw that and was like we're on the same page.
It says,
So
before you work on the outside of leadership, work on the inside of your leadership.
you guys, and this is why Rocio and I are right here. We are constant movers of personal development. Read that again.
Before you work on the outside of your leadership, work on the inside of your leadership.
Oh, so good. So good. I was like, I was driving and I was like, that is so good. I don't even know if I shared it or if I was like going to go back and try to get it, but
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you grabbed that one too. All right. So personal development is number three. Number four, the gym. Whatever that looks like, your health and fitness, you go on a walk. For those of you that have been following me for a minute, I walk. I walk, you may run, you may jog, whatever. I walk. And then I'm going to start implementing weights again, strength training again, which I used to do. And then I go through my workday. What do I have? I check in with my content manager. What does my day look like? What are my focuses? I usually focus on 3 areas. 3 areas only. If you have 5 areas, fine. But if there's 3 that I want to get done and I want to get them off the list. If it's one, it's usually pretty big and I'll focus on that one. Schedule a power hour. I don't care what that looks like anytime during your day, but it has to be an intentional D&D, like Rocio said.
Mhm.
Do not disturb. Put your phone on do not disturb for 1 hour. Set an alarm and jump into phone calls, jump into anything that's going to move your business forward with sales. And in between your days, take 15-minute breaks every hour. Get up, stretch, go walk, go move your body. And that's my day of slow mornings and productive days.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
I like to start my day just, very similar to you with my miracle morning. But my husband says, I always say your morning sets you up for the day. And he says the night before does.
Oh, it does. It really
So we
does.
we go back and forth. Like he's like, no, you got to start, you got to make sure you're prepared for the morning the night before. And I'm like, yeah, but I give myself enough time in the morning to prepare, right? And it's not preparing like anything specific, just even mentally. Um, I always, when I used to wake up at 4 in the morning to go to the gym at 5 or get to the gym by 5,
Yeah.
I used to think of wearing my workout clothes to sleep And then I was like, I don't want to compromise my sleep. Like I wanted to have like an extra 5-10 minutes. And I'm like, what if I just sleep in this clothes, like my gym
You're
clothes?
hilarious.
And I just get up.
You're
And then that's
hilarious.
how I ended up with like fake lashes and all these things, right? Because I'm like, oh, I don't want to wake up and look like I just rolled out of bed. Like I'm ready. Just a little
No,
gloss
no.
and I'm good.
I will get my gym clothes out ready. Like, so when he talks about the night before, that's why I was like looking around. I mentally prepare the night before. So like I'm like, okay, my gym clothes, my water, my and then the rest of the stuff is here. So my gym clothes, my water, that's the only thing I take to the gym. Oh, and my AirPods. And so that's what I do mentally. I prepare for that. And I do sleep in my PJs. My gym clothes, I know where they're at. They're in my drawers and then I grab them out. But after I brush my teeth, wash my face, I come back upstairs because my room's upstairs. And that's when I set the tone for all of this. So I sit down, put on my worship music, I play it on off my phone, and I start getting in present with him. And then I change into my gym clothes because sometimes I stay in my PJs. I
And
change
you
into my
throw
gym
on
clothes and
some
then I take
gangster
off.
rap.
Huh?
I'm just joking. I said, and you throw on some gangster rap.
And I'm like, let's go. Yeah. After Jesus, I'll just like praise, and then I'll just like get down.
Oh my God. One of the pastors I know, he said, my mom was the type of lady that would tell you off and pray for you in the same
In
sentence.
the same sentence.
I was like, whoa, that's some skill. That's pretty.
I love it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We are wrapping up now. Thank you so much, Rocio. I absolutely adore and love you.
Of
Thank you
course.
for doing this with me today. Do you have a favorite book or quote or movie that you want to share with the audience that has inspired or empowered you?
Honestly, if you just stick to anything Maxwell, I feel like even if you just listen to him, his words, the way they just land, and it just it's just a different. I like listening to authors
Yeah.
who actually like. I like listening to their voice. I don't like when they use somebody else, but
Well, yeah.
Maxwell is just one of those. He's an older gentleman. He's great at what he
He's a
does.
former pastor. He's a
Leader,
former
former
pastor.
pastor.
Yeah.
He's so wise. There's so much wisdom in
Mm,
all his books. And I can't wait to dive into Today Matters
okay.
because I am all about life is today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you all for joining us for another episode of You Are Meant for More. Go out there, be amazing, go bless people, love on them, know that you are worthy of great things. And so, Rocio, I love you, girl. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
so
Love you too.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining me, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
We get to know what you do, what inspires you, what you enjoy.
My ability to lead really impacts women on a larger level because not every woman has the same story or the same journey. So understanding where they've come from and where they want to go helps me be the leader that I can so that I can show up in a space of authenticity for them.